It's late at night on an Indian highway. A family is driving home from a vacation in Udaipur, stopping for the kind of mundane things that define a road trip: cold drinks, hot aloo vada, and a few bags of chips. We have Dad behind the wheel, Mom, Ruchi, in the passenger seat, and their kids, Aayu and Pihu, in the back. They're tired, casually bickering over snacks and operating on the comfortable, predictable autopilot of a long drive home. Engineering a reality-breaking illusion requires this foundation of absolute normalcy. You need the targets to drop their guard completely before you introduce the anomaly. The shift begins when Ruchi suddenly stops talking. She sits rigidly in her seat, staring straight ahead with a flat, unsmiling expression that doesn't break, no matter what the kids say. They try to fill the silence. They offer her Sprite and snacks, assuming she's upset about a call. They are working hard to bridge a gap that Ruchi is intentionally widening. This chart tracks the baseline of typical family interaction. By going completely mute, Ruchi forces that baseline to zero. This creates a psychological vacuum that serves to prime the family. By stripping away her familiar warmth, she leaves behind a hollow, unrecognizable figure that the family's subconscious begins to detach from the mom they know. This silence isn't just a performance of anger. It's a method used to sever the target's emotional connection to the person sitting right next to them, making the impossible explanation easier to believe later. After 30 minutes of silence, the car pulls into a petrol pump. Ruchi steps out into the dark for a bathroom break, and within seconds, she seems to vanish into thin air. Panic builds as the kids find the washrooms empty and the area deserted. When they try to reach her, her phone is switched off, leaving them standing on a dark highway with no idea where she went. Then, Ruchi calls from a different number. She sounds perfectly calm, claiming she's still waiting at the restaurant they left 20 kilometers away. When the brain is confronted with a physical impossibility, a person existing in two places at once, it often abandons logic. The family immediately begins looking for a supernatural answer to explain the distance. The family is now forced to reconcile two conflicting facts. If Ruchi has been at the restaurant the entire time, then they now have to account for the passenger who spent the last half hour sitting in their car. They look back at the drive with new eyes. The cold silence, the unblinking face, the strange floral perfume. To them, the only explanation left is that they gave a ride to a doppelganger. Logistically, Ruchi rode to the petrol pump, but used the darkness and her family's distraction to slip away. She hopped into a pre-positioned decoy car. While her family searched, she raced back to the original restaurant to reset the scene. This is the core of psychological horror. Realizing you shared an enclosed space with someone you thought was family, but was actually a stranger. The drive back is thick with paranoia. They aren't picking up a passenger. They're heading toward a confrontation with something they no longer understand. When they finally see Ruchi, they don't offer a warm greeting. They interrogate her, asking for engagement dates and birthdays, security questions designed to prove that the woman standing before them is actually human. The tension only breaks when the production team steps out from the shadows. The ghost is revealed to be an office colleague, and the impossible scenario is exposed as a meticulously planned April Fool's setup. This shows that the most effective illusions don't need Hollywood props or digital effects to be convincing. By weaponizing silence, manipulating spatial continuity, and exploiting baseline family trust, you can make the people closest to you believe that reality itself has come apart.